All right, and now we have Cincinnati, who I think everybody's kind of down on. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but Brad, over under for Cincinnati here, win total 6 wins.
Ooh, 6 wins. Oh man, I'd have to go under, dude. Come on, what's Cincinnati going to bring to the table?
Well, they have Andy Dalton was hurt last year. Andy Dalton, I think, is better than advertised. I think he almost like Flacco got really, in terms of the public eye, they got really nailed for the contracts that they signed. But you look at it now, the contract is reasonable value. You have Andy Dalton. I don't think he's going to light the world on fire, but when he played last year and his team was healthy, they were okay. A.J. Green, he's getting hurt every year, but they still have Andy Dalton, Joe Mixon, Gio Bernard, A.J. Green, Tyler Boyd, Tyler Eifert for the 1.5 games that he's going to play.
That's not so bad, is it?
No, and they have a new coach there. So that's the big unknown for me is the coach. I think they're, it's one of these Sean McVay disciples. I think the guy... Yeah, Al Michaels' joke was, somebody hired Sean McVay's barista just because they were everybody's trying to get close to him. Well, they have it. I think they're going to be able to run the ball. I think the defense, probably has some talent. They're going to have a new scheme there probably. 6 wins, man. To me, they're a 6-10 team. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard for me to go under, but I can't go over. I would say this is a push, but if you have to have an answer, I can't imagine this team is 7-9 in this division, so I'm going to go with 5-11. But I truly think they're a 6-10 team.
I do too. I think both these over/unders so far have been spot on.
I know, man. 8-8. If you have to go one way, I go over in Baltimore just based on recent history. Cincinnati, I just think that. Look, I like them. I think they're going to score well. I just don't know if they can stop anybody. I'm confident that this team would be in the top half of the league in terms of scoring offense if everybody can stay healthy. And Tyler Boyd had a great year last year. But Tyler Boyd also took a little bit of a step back when A.J. Green went out, whereas Juju Smith-Schuster kind of kept it going even if Antonio Brown, wasn't involved, in Pittsburgh, which we'll talk about that in a bit. Tyler Boyd took a little bit of a step back, so I think he needs A.J. Green drawing coverage for him to continue to flourish there. Tyler Eifert, I said this last year, this team is a different team when Tyler Eifert's healthy. The problem is I think he's played like 4 games in the last 3 years, and I'm not making that up. I think it's seriously 4 games in 3 years.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And so like Eifert, like when he's on the field, he's that dynamic tight end. When he came out in his draft class, he was actually a little better than Zach Ertz, although I don't know where the draft position was. I mean, he's that touted coming out of Notre Dame, and I watched a lot of Notre Dame back then, and he's just a really good player, but he's, his body's betraying him as tends to happen when you get hit for a living by 300-pound people that run a 4.4. Like I said, man, 6-10. I just don't see this team being 7-9. So if I have to guess, I'm going to go 6-10. Maybe I'll say 5-10-1. But yeah. But I guess I'll have to go on the under there. From a fantasy perspective, like the Red Rifle or Red Rocket, I guess it's Red Rifle. It's probably not Red Rocket. Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, he is what he is, man. I mean, come on. It's not like he's ever going to be something different from here on out.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have those games where he's going to throw like for 4 or 5 touchdowns, 3 of them to A.J. Green. To me, like, I probably don't draft him, but I think he's a great guy to put into daily fantasy lineups weekly because he's going to be boom or bust, and he's always going to have a low cap number in daily fantasy, so I buy him up. He's been one of my favorite for the last couple of years. If I've had a quarterback on a bye week and I haven't had a deep bench, I'll just pick Dalton up for the week and just cross my fingers that it's one of those good weeks. Right. By the way, Phillip Rivers is another one of those guys, Brad, that's often on the waivers after the draft. So
really.
So Joe Mixon, I think, is going to be pretty good this year. I think he'll have an uptick in terms of productivity in this system. We'll see. Gio Bernard, I think he's going to have a down year. A.J. Green, it's all about whether he stays healthy, and to me, Tyler Boyd's the same way. So,
and A.J. Green, I feel like he's been there forever.
It feels like that, doesn't it? It feels like that.
Like he was part of a different era.
Yeah.
Like he was there when Greg Jennings and Donald Driver were in Green Bay, and I'm not even being funny. I think he was.
Yeah, and what helped too is A.J. Green really came out of the gate his rookie year. Was Julio Jones that same year?
It's possible.
It is possible. I feel like they came out the same year. I know that AJ Green and Dalton were drafted together. That was a great draft class, I got to say, because there's AJ Green in the first and then Dalton in the second round. Very, very good draft.
Well, these years can mount, can't they?
I know, man, and it goes fast. Brad, you and I were talking because you had a birthday recently, so have I. The years go faster as you get older, and you and I are looking around, and suddenly J.J. Watt's like an elder statesman in the league, and A.J. Green feels kind of old, you know? It's like, really? Like, because they're younger than we are, probably.
But they are younger than we are. Yeah, but they're old. That's bizarre, isn't it?
It is. It's depressing is what it is.
Yeah. It really is.
Just one step closer to death.
Yeah.
One day closer to being underground.
Yep. Sweet release of death.
Yeah. Maybe after I die, I'll celestial my body. I'll go to the moon and see if that flag's still there.
That flag ain't there, buddy.
All right. Next one is actually, you know, they say NASA the astronauts said that when their little rover lifted off from the moon to get them back to the space ship or whatever they were on, the shuttle. It blew the flag over. The kick from the engine, you know. It blew the flag over, so you can't see it anyway. But it's there, man. It's there.
Likely story.
Anyway, I got to talk with you about the Sun Symbolic podcast. Okay, so let's move it on.
It would be so much fun. It would be so much fun. Can we please do that? On a day I'm not exhausted and I'm all Red Bulled up. Let's get going.
Yeah, it sounds good. Now I'll get you at like 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. One of these times, like right.
Dude, my friends and I, we always go back and forth. Like all of us, we go deep into this, and we always seem to go back and forth. And right now, I'm at it's equal 50-50. My buddy Jason, however, is like, we never went there. There's no way. But I remember just a few months ago, he was like, nah, we went there. What are you, crazy? This is why we went there. It's funny. Joe Rogan goes back and forth too, and now he's off the
he's off the wagon.
He's off the wagon right now, but just give it some time.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
It's good.